Welcome back, guys. First of all, I would like to thank you for the responses which you have given in the community. I wanted to understand whether you would want the videos to have the entire code written then and there, or should I be um, writing it out and then copy pasting it and explaining it line by line. So yeah, it looks like there is a strong opinion around doing it during the session. So yeah, and uh, I'll continue to do that, and I would encourage you to you know participate more. If you have any questions, any suggestions, do you know uh, contribute to the community and let me know. Okay, so far in this series we have you know uh, just have the boilerplate ready, and we committed it to GitLab, and then we had the basic setup of our view. Now I wanted to go back a step and make certain changes which we uh, understood we need based on the wireframes. So we decided that we will group the menu items or the food items, and that is not something which we have handled in our database, right? So in our database we only have menus and they don't have any categories. So what we will do is, first of all, create a new model called category. Okay, I need the migration and the factory for that. Okay, controller, I don't think I'll need that, otherwise I could have done this as well. So M for migration, F for factory, and C for controller. I'll just go with the model and the factory right now. Okay, in here, so this is going to be a string. Okay, and I feel each category is unique to the restaurant, not even the owner but to the restaurant, because different restaurants can have different kinds of categories. So what I will do is, we need to capture the unsigned, it's not big integer but unsigned integer. Okay, so yeah, we'll need the restaurant ID. I know we don't have the concept yet of restaurants, so we will initially hard code it and then start worrying about that when we go to that phase. So yeah, I think this is all that we want, unsigned integer restaurant ID. And because we have these categories, we would need them to be referenced inside our menu as well. So inside the menu, I'll do is copy this. I'll have one more unsigned integer, and I will need the restaurant ID here as well, and I'll add the category ID as well. Okay, um, we need to look at the indexes as well later on. I'll touch upon them later again when we actually start looking at the queries, but for now we can safely keep it like this. Okay, so I'll close those two files. My migrations are done. um, we need to work upon the factory, so we have a name. So, okay, so again, as I mentioned, Faker is a library which will allow us to generate dummy data, so that's what I'm doing. Okay, and so the category factory needs the name and the resto id, which we can hard code one right now. And in here again, I have the restaurant id and we also added the category ID. So we'll add these two. Okay. um yeah, seems to be fine. So now let's change our seeder. So right now we are calling just flat out 10 menu classes, right? So we'll change that a bit. So I'll have categories equals, okay, I'll create, let's say, 5 categories. So what I'm trying to do is I will create these 5 categories, and because this is going to give me a collection, I will have um, this method each which I can run on this collection, and I'll get individual categories there. So it is very much similar to writing a for each, but it's a little more elegant way of doing it. So yeah, Laravel collections are very very strong, and I would strongly recommend you go through their documentation. There are a lot of useful methods. um, yeah, I know I'm diverting from the main topic, but yeah, I would strongly recommend you go through this. There are so many different things. It is almost like, your uh, Lodash for JavaScript. So you have things like push, pull, and whatnot. So yeah, you should definitely try collections. Collections are, you know, I think that's what they call. They are arrays on steroids or something like that. Yeah, I mean that's what you can say. I mean it has immense capabilities. So yeah, right now we are using each. So for each category, what we will do is we will generate 3 menu items. Okay, and we need to reference the category ID as category ID. Okay, so yeah, now this is done. So let us go to our database and first see what we had earlier. So we had categories. No, okay. So this is um, basically from my trial which I have done. Uh, right, and that is the reason it's failing. Let us delete all the tables for a second. Okay, and then I will run the migration. Okay, now this is something to check. Class app category not found. Why? Hmm. And I thought I ran that thing. Oh yes, I did the same mistake. um, I'll need to again pull it back here. Basically, whenever I'm creating a model, it should be models slash category. So if I remove it from here, I delete this, and if I run now, the migration will not. Okay, it will create a duplicate one. I'll remove that. I have categories here, and I'll remove this. I just did that to show you. I could have just created the model. So um, it didn't create the factory for some reason. Okay, that's good. So I think it respected the fact that there is already a factory. Um, so yeah, now the namespace is correct, and I guess I'll need to update this as well. Models, right, or I'll just import it here. So this is done. Menu factory should doesn't need the category, and in here I think I already have that. So If everything is correct, it ran properly. So I have menus which has the reference to the restaurant ID, which is right now hard coded, but it has categories, right? And these are the uh, five categories. I know they are not really food categories. I need to come up with some random names which I can use to seed the data. I'll look into that. So yeah, now that we have this data in here, what I would like to do is we were pulling the data inside our container, right? So we just had the 15 menu items initially, which now doesn't make sense. We need to group them by um, the categories. So let's go back to our home controller. Okay, and we are taking menu all, right? Okay, we will not do that. First of all, let's create a relation inside our menu model. Okay, inside our menu model we'll need the category relation. So yeah, um now what is category? The relation basically is that it it's a belongs to relationship, right? So a category, or rather, um, the menu belongs to a category. So this belongs to class. um, okay, so we have this relation, and I think I will always need this relationship whenever I'm loading a menu item. Okay, I mean the menu item without the category, uh, I don't think it will be called anywhere else. So what I can do is protected dollar width is an array which I can define, and I can tell Laravel that whenever this model is uh, being called upon, whenever there is an instance of this model, please ensure that it comes with this relationship. Okay, so that's what we have done in here. Now I'll need to call the categories equal. um, yeah, I'll need to call the data in the controller so that I can send it to the view component. So let's first write down the query, and then what I'll do is I'll push that logic into a service so that we don't have any custom queries in our controller. So first try it out. So I'll have menu, obviously, and then where in, because I would want, I mean in here, the categories and menu items from multiple restaurants if I as a user have multiple restaurants. So where in um, restaurant ID, sorry, dollar restaurant ID is this. So this is going to be an array. Right now we have only one, we can have multiple. Okay, so yeah, wherein and then get. Oh yes, so this is is it really showing an error because of that? No, I think it got stuck. But yeah, I just realized that we are now sending categories. So yeah, hit refresh and see what is coming up. Resto ID. Now what happened? Variable menu. Yeah. Uh, so Here we have this, still the 15 items. What happened? So I have categories, home controller. Why don't we, for some time, return dollar categories? Oh yeah, yeah, I forgot. So I have this, and I have the category data as well. So it was coming there. But you know what? Whenever I'm going to show the menu items, I would like to first show the categories, and then inside that I'll show the menu items. That's what our diagram was, right? So what do? We need to group by categories, right? So hmm, mm, I think what I can do here is, once I have the entire collection data, again collection has a available method which is group by. Let me see quickly, check. Yes, I have group by, right? So group by category dot name, and now my result will change. Yeah, so I have now I will remove this and see. So I have, the props has changed. It has one, two, three, four items in here, and oh, the ID, um, because the ID was repeated, it kind of obviously grouped it into one. So I have this category and then the three menu items for that. So yeah, this is something which we wanted. Obviously the data is a little, you know wrong, so that's why I'm getting this. Let me see items, one, two, three, four, five. Yeah, so this helps. um, Now we have this, and I would ideally want this particular logic to be outside the controller. Okay, and so what I will do is, not a folder, but rather directly a file, which is inside services. I'll have menu service dot php. Menu service, I'll need a namespace. So in that, I'll have a public function which is get menu with category. Okay, I'll always pass restaurant IDs, and then what I will do is copy and send this back. Okay, and hence I don't need that query in here, but rather I will inject the menu service in here and get menu with category resto id. Okay, let's make it plural because this is, multiple, so restaurant IDs, and I think we should continue to get the same thing, variable restaurant ID. What happened? um, oh yeah, all right. So yeah, I think we have everything back as we wanted. So what have we done in this video? A quick recap. We created a new model and migration and factory as well, which is the category. We wanted that relation, so in the database we have a categories table, and the menus are now being referenced with a category. And we introduced the concept of restaurant ID as well, because um, we will have the concept of an owner which who can have multiple restaurants. So that's the database level changes which we have done. We added that relationship, which is inside menu. We have category, menu belongs to a category. That's the relation we have. And then finally have a we have our controller pulling the data from services, which is his this. And yeah, that's about it. Our view component is now able to get the information as we wanted. So yeah, that's all we wanted to cover in this this long video. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you like the videos, do click on the thumbs up icon and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.